So reconciliation must involve action. It must involve each one of us taking it upon ourselves in our own life, in our own practice.
So today we're being hosted at the Robert McLaughlin Art Gallery. We're putting on a conference for educators and principals and teachers on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission calls to action. Today we opened up with Dr. Ernie Sinclair, who is from Manitoba. He's a professor there. He is the son of Murray Sinclair, who really spearheaded and supported the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He's here sharing his knowledge and really tying in lots of information about the Truth and Reconciliation calls that we are working towards to give educators that background knowledge to then bring forward into their schools.
It's important for students to know this stuff because it's been a secret. It's been the past of the history of Canada has not been out in the forefront, and it only comes from one perspective. So now it's giving us a chance to show the children a different lens.
It's important because as Canadians, we have to accept that we've made mistakes in the past, and often Canadians are proud of the civilization we've created, and I think it's important that we recognize that part of that was built on the backs of the Native Canadians who were treated horribly by our government and by our people. And kids need to know that.
And it's important that we bring that journey so we can understand Canadian history and so we can rebuild that relationship that has been damaged with our Indigenous community, which is important to all of us as Canadians. We want to ensure that our students receive, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, receive an education that includes Indigenous history, as that is such a key part of who we are as Canadians.
Well, we're here today because as educators, we acknowledge that we have a lot of room for growth in the area of dealing with the experience of the Native Canadians historically. And as a former history teacher, as a person with 3 history degrees, I can look back and recognize that even in my studies, we didn't spend enough time concentrating on the experience of the Native Canadians. And I think the Truth and Reconciliation process is telling us that it's the younger students who are going to be the ones who lead us to the place we need to be in terms of our relationship with Native Canadians.
I hope that the takeaway is, first of all, a personal learning experience, that they come and they leave with a new understanding of information that they didn't have before, and then a drive and a purpose to bring it forward in schools, that they're ignited to bring the learning back to their school and really make reconciliation happen and turn it into reconciliation.